Welcome to the Transition Alliance of South Carolina's video learning opportunity on assistive technology resources to support the high school credential. At this time, I'd like to introduce you to your presenter, Tammy Wallace.
Thank you, Michael. I would like to thank Task for allowing me to be your presenter today. Today's topic will focus on AT as an important consideration for students pursuing the high school credential. I thought it would be a good idea for us to step back today and look through a wide lens. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at some top assistive technology trends in the workplace for people with disabilities. Assistive technology is used to increase, maintain, or improve functional capabilities for people with disabilities. Assistive technology is playing a substantial role in creating a more diverse and inclusive workplace. AT will support essential job functions. There is a wide range of technology that is available to support communication between workers and supervisors, workers from a customer service standpoint, or just general communication between any person to person. Organization, being able to prioritize the work that you're doing, being able to organize your work to be able to meet deadlines. And then the last and probably the most important function is independence. The ability of AT for people with disabilities is changing the workplace in a positive way. We want people to be able to go to work and be as independent as possible, and assistive technology can allow them to do that. Of course, we all know that AT accommodations in the workplace vary based on the needs of the individual and based on the job requirements. That is why it is so important that we consider assistive technology when we are trying to help students who are getting the credential to find a job and to be able to identify the specific accommodations that they need in a specific workplace. And some of the students are already using accommodations in the high school setting, and they may be helping them to get the credential. Those may not be the same accommodations that they will need in the workplace setting, depending on what the job functions or the job requirements are. So we need to think about that when we're considering AT for a specific student in a specific work environment. Recent innovations bridging the gap. So AT devices and software have drastically improved over the last 3 to 5 years, and that is because technology overall has advanced. Recent innovations are bridging the employment gap between people with and without disabilities. So it's important for everyone on this call to stay in the know. What are the top assistive technology trends in the workplace? Number 1, accessible technology. So what's happening is mainstream technology has been designed with the needs of various users in mind, and they have incorporated assistive technology solutions in the mainstream technology. So what's awesome about that is when you pick up a computer, iPad, laptop, phone, whatever the device is, the assistive technology is already built in. So sometimes it's easier to find a device that already has it built in than try to find something specific for that person where they can use what they're already using, like their phone, laptop, iPad, tablet, whatever it may be. So what are the leading tech companies doing? Apple, Microsoft, and Google are designing products and services with built-in customization features. To find these features, you go to the settings and accessibility, and all of the built-in AT features will show up for you. Then it's just, you just adjust them based on the needs of the person. So that's probably the first place I would go if I was trying to help someone with AT. I would probably ask the question, do you have a phone? Do you have an iPad? Do you already use some type of device? And then I would go find those accessibility features that are already built in to that device and try to customize those for that user to be able to accomplish whatever task they are trying to accomplish. So this allows that individual to individualize their experience based on their specific needs. So what are employers doing in the workplace? Employers are incorporating accessible technology to meet the needs of their employees with disabilities. So that's good news for our students who are pursuing the high school credential. So I wanted to share a corporate spotlight with you that I thought was fairly significant. In 2018, TD Bank introduced Microsoft Office 365 and Windows 10 to all of their employees. And this is significant because they felt strongly enough to change the software programs that they were using for all of their employees to be able to give them the accessibility tools. Whether the person had a disability or not, the employees could access the customizable tools that are already built in. And two of those that we wanted to make sure that you knew about are Narrator, and that is a built-in text-to-speech program, and then a Magnifier, and that is a built-in feature that enlarges text. Now, these are just a few of the accessibility tools that are built into Office 365 and Windows 10. And like I said before, to find those features, you go to the settings and accessibility, and then you can scroll through all of the built-in AT features that you can adjust to personal needs. So what are the Google developers doing? Google's developers have focused on ensuring its various systems address the needs of individuals with low vision, hearing impairments, dexterity issues, and cognitive needs. So one example of what Google is doing is Google's ChromeVox. ChromeVox is Google's screen reader for people with low vision, with adjustable magnification, contrast aid, and a keyboard guide. Now, that's important because the person can use the screen reader, they can adjust the magnification to whatever setting they need, whether it's 2 times, 5 times, 10 times, 20 times. They can adjust the contrast, which means they can change the background to make it easier for them to be able to read what's on the screen. So they can use a black background with white type. Of course, most of us use a white background with black type. They can also change it to a red background, a yellow background, whatever works best for them depending on what disability they have. And then also a keyboard guide. And the keyboard guide, you can use the Gboard app, and that features allows you to do Google searches, predictive answers, and I think what most people use it for is the predictive typing engine that's attached to it. So what is Apple doing? Apple's smartphone accessibility includes these features into all of their devices now. Switch control, using any type of switch to be able to use your smartphone. It can be a single switch or a multiple switch. VoiceOver, which is a built-in screen reader. And they also can provide subtitles and captioning. And that is called Live Listen. And the important thing is that these features are built into all of their devices now. So if you're using an Apple smartphone and then you're also using an Apple iPad, you can use the same programs or the same apps so that you're not having to learn multiple things depending on the device that you're using. So many of these customizations were developed to benefit people with disabilities. But what ends up happening is their universal design ends up benefiting everyone. So, number 2, artificial intelligence. Significant innovations within the world of AI are improving workplace experiences for employees with disabilities. Initially, these developments began as word prediction, allowing a person to visually recognize a person in front of them, or speech to text, and speech to text. Now what's happening is these developments are the starting point for numerous other products and features that are expanding employment opportunities for people with disabilities. An example is the Microsoft Seeing AI app. This app is free. You can download it on your phone, you can download it on your iPad, your laptop, and what it does is you take a picture of whatever's in front of you, use your camera on your iPad or your phone or your other devices, and you take a picture. And then if it's a person, if it is a text document or an object that's in front of you, it will actually read it or say whatever aloud in front of you. So a person with low vision could walk up to a street sign, take a picture of the street sign, and it would tell them you are on Boundary Street. If you use it to walk up to a person, it will describe the person in front of you. And so we use this a lot with people with low vision. There are more expensive tools out there, but this is a free app that can benefit a lot of people with low vision and seems to work very well. And it's very user-friendly, easy to use with just a few minutes of explanation. Some people take a little bit more, but fairly easy to use. Another example would be Proloquo to Go. This is an augmentative and alternative communication app that allows individuals without speech to easily communicate using symbols. And you can customize this app. Another example that could be used in the workplace would be EyeGaze, a communication system that enables individuals with physical disabilities and dexterity needs to be able to operate their computer or their phone using eye control. So AI advancements prove beneficial for employees with disabilities, employers, and anyone else in the workplace. So corporations are investing in more technology innovations than ever before. That's really good news for our students with disabilities. So there is a big project that was announced in 2018 that I think will also change, improve, or expand the accessibility programs that are going on with Microsoft. They launched the AI for Accessibility program to provide technology-focused seed grants to developers, universities, non-governmental organizations, and inventors that aim to focus on AI, artificial intelligence. So this was a pretty bold, big statement for Microsoft to take. And so it just shows how important this has become to these computer innovators. So number 3, the next thing that we're going to talk about that people are starting to use in the workplace are intelligent voice assistants. And we all know what those are. We have them in our homes. But voice assistants are generally classified as a form of artificial intelligence, which we've already mentioned. But I felt like we needed to talk about it separately because we are starting to see more widespread use of voice recognition technology. Voice assistants incorporate voice response that simulates conversations and integration with various applications and platforms to create an interactive virtual identity. So this is definitely an area that I think will expand in the workplace, in the work environment over the next few years, because voice assistants can be connected to tools in the workplace to make the work environment more accessible. So some of these that we already see and we all know how to use are Amazon Echo, Amazon Alexa, Google Home, Apple's Siri, Samsung's Bixby, Microsoft Cortana, and Google Assistant. So how can an intelligent voice assistant help an individual? Well, it allows the individual, some of the things that it could do in a work environment, it could make phone calls. It could schedule appointments. It could turn on electric devices. It could adjust electric devices, change the settings, and of course do many other functions in the work environment. Now I want to talk a little bit about funding for assistive technology. So mainly what we've talked about are a lot of the built-in features that will come in the devices, and is so awesome that when you go buy a new device, you know that it has accessibility features. So you just need to sort of research what those accessibility features are that are built in and make sure that it does have the AT that you specifically need or the student specifically needs in the work environment. So we all know AT can be expensive, and funding can be found through a variety of sources, both public and private. And I wanted to share a few resources with you. The Assistive Technology Industry Association, ATIA, has a funding resource guide that is a great place to start your funding research. So I just wanted you to know that that resource guide is out there. It is downloadable and has a lot of good information to kind of start your research for specific AT. Also, the South Carolina Assistive Technology website funding page, I have the link there to the specific funding page for our site. And we have quite a few funding sources listed there. And if you don't find a funding source for what you're looking for, you can call us or email us, and we will do some research and try to help you find something. I also wanted to mention the employer's tax incentives. We all know employers have this option available to them to take advantage of tax incentives for hiring and retaining employees with disabilities. But what I wanted to mention about that is that the ATIA resource guide does go into detail about the employer's tax incentives. So that would also be a good place to start if that's something you want to consider or maybe bring up to an employer when you're talking to them about a specific student possibly working for them. So other guidance and resources. For detailed ideas on AT accommodations, you can go to the Job Accommodation Network, or you can also go there to find leading source. It is the leading source on workplace accommodations. And what I like about it is it actually has a checklist that you can print off and take with you to the workplace. and you can look at what the job requirements are going to be for a specific job that the student might be considering, and then also look at specific AT that might help with that specific job requirement. And then also it has a workplace accommodation toolkit that could be very useful. So now I want to talk a little bit about the South Carolina Assistive Technology Program Services. I'm a program coordinator there. And so we have an equipment demonstration center at 8301 Farrer Road. And that is the place where you can bring students, send students to meet with us. We work with schools all over South Carolina with teachers, special ed teachers, really anyone in the school, therapist, who thinks that a student could benefit from assistive technology. And you can bring the student to the demonstration center, and we will talk about what tasks the student wants to accomplish, and then we will try to find the appropriate assistive technology to be able to help them accomplish those tasks. And if we find something that will work for them, they can take advantage of our equipment loan program. Now, this is a program where we have the equipment in the resource center, we let them try it out, and if we think it will work for them, then they can borrow it from us for 2 to 4 weeks. And we have iPads with communication apps on them, iPads with all different types of apps on them that they can borrow the iPad. If there is an app that an employer might want to try with a specific student that they think might be beneficial, we can load that app on there for them to try. So we're very flexible to make it work for the individual who's borrowing the equipment, because we want them to be able to try it in their own environment, whether it be school, home, or in this situation in the workplace. Because we don't want anyone going out and purchasing something and then finding out that it's not going to work. That's why we have the loan program, and the more they borrow and use, then they will identify the specific AT that will work for them. The AT exchange, that is a kind of a Craigslist of our own, where individuals list equipment on the AT exchange, and then other individuals can access that information and they can communicate with each other. And sometimes it's free, sometimes it does have a price attached to it, and those individuals communicate directly. And the kinds of items that are on there are handicapped accessible vans, hospital beds, a lot of mobility equipment that you can attach to your cars to put a wheelchair on or a scooter, those kinds of things. And then of course, a lot of different types of durable medical equipment, walkers, wheelchairs, transport chairs, those kinds of things. And then our reuse program is the program where we take in donated equipment, gently used equipment, and we commercially sanitize it. And our only job is to get that back out in the community, and there's no cost to the person. And there's not an application or anything. They just have to sign a liability waiver to be able to receive that piece of equipment, and they can have it for free. And that is a statewide program. We do serve the entire state of South Carolina. So we are accepting donations for that program, as well as giving out equipment through that program. Of course, we do trainings of all different types. We can come to schools and do trainings for teachers, for parents, for students. And then we also host trainings ourselves. And you can go to our website to find all of our latest trainings that we have. I think right now we have about 6 or 7 on there that you can sign up for webinars. And then we also do technical assistance. We can brainstorm with you to help you with a specific student. And we also can brainstorm with an employer to help them find the best AT to help someone with a disability. And then the last service that we offer is our annual free expo that we have every year during the month of March. And we typically have classes going on, and you can get free CEUs. And then also we have 70 to 75 different vendors every year of AT. So that's a little bit about us. And how you access our services really is just by making a phone call. Now, during this time with COVID-19, we are not working in the office. We are all working from our homes, but all of our phones roll over to our cell phones, so we can take calls and we can also take emails. And starting the week of May 19th, well, maybe next week, we can do virtual demonstrations through Zoom. So if there's a specific thing that you are thinking about for a specific student and you'd like to get on the Zoom system and look at it, we can do that with you. And we're not doing one-on-one demos right now. We don't know when we'll go back to doing that, but we are definitely offering virtual demonstrations, and happy to do that, or we can just brainstorm over the phone as well. So now I think we're going to open the chat box for questions that you may have. If you want to talk about a specific student that you're considering AT for, or if there's a specific app or anything that you can't find, we'll be happy to answer those questions. And Carol Page is the director of the AT program, and she's been online and can also help with fielding those questions as well.
Okay, well, we appreciate everyone's attendance today. Thanks everyone for attending, and thank you, Tammy and Carol, for your presentation today. Hope everyone has a great day, and we will see you on Thursday.